Male and female gaming channels. After you are finished watching, I highly encourage you to leave feedback and criticism. If you have a question that is already covered in the video, I will not answer you. Something that has been at the back of my mind for a long time is why, in my personal experience, female gaming channels tend to have a larger female viewer base. As in, why do female gaming channels have a higher female audience percentage? I have a lot of male friends who have gaming channels, and I am always surprised at how low their female audience percentage is. People who have quality content and views comparable to mine will say their female audience is as low as 4%, while the Geek Remix channel is around 35%. So I decided to go out and collect information from a bunch of gaming YouTubers. The criteria was simply that their channel has to be about gaming. I asked for the views and the gender demographic they had in the last 28 days. I would not consider this a scientific study, as I am not a professional statistician. This was just research I did for fun because I was curious and there was no other place I could look to find this information. I ended up with a list of 24 female gaming YouTubers and 25 male gaming YouTubers. I collected this information by annoying people on Reddit, Twitter, Tumblr, and gaming forums. I also asked for information from people I talked to in YouTube chat rooms and private messages. I asked for signal boosts and approached as many YouTubers as I could to try and get an answer. All this information was collected over a period of 2 days. You can find links to most of the places I posted at in the description, so you can check for anything you don't like. I entered the information I got into these Excel sheets. I'm going to put all the information in the description so you can have the option to look at it yourself. I'm hoping that after this video is uploaded, more YouTubers will want to contribute their data. I will not be creating any surveys, as I have tried that method before and it was filled with junk data from trolls. So now that you know how I collected the data and can decide for yourself if you still want to take it seriously, I will talk about the results. The average female audience percentage for male gaming YouTubers was 12.8%, the median female audience percentage was 8.6%, and the standard deviation was 10.9%. The lowest percentage was 3%, while the highest was 43.5%. The average female audience percentage for female gaming YouTubers was 23%. The median female audience percentage was 17%, and the standard deviation was 15.4%. The lowest percentage was 7%, while the highest was 69%. The following graphs were made by Karate Chopsticks in order to help visualize the data. The names were removed to avoid someone being targeted. The y-axis is the percentage of female viewers, and the x-axis is the number of views in the last 28 days. The x-axis in the female YouTubers chart was adjusted to take into the account the massive amount of views MangaMinx has. As you can see, the female YouTuber data points tend to be in a higher range than their male counterparts. Here is it merged together. The female data points are blue, the male data points are orange. And then of course there are outliers, but outliers give us information. Matt Shea is all the way up there with 43.5% female viewership, which is high for a male YouTuber. When I asked why, he said it was because he plays The Sims. That's probably true. I asked a few people who gave their data why they think their stats are the way they are. Here are some quotes. Tamashi Hiroka, with 3 million views and 15% female viewership, says, "My personal input is that I always try to be inclusive and my content doesn't cater to one gender in particular." Pushing Up Roses, with 140,000 views and 16% female viewership, says that she agrees. Sir Crest, with 84,000 views and a 7% female viewership, says, "My only guess is that female viewers just identify more with other female broadcasters. Even if the content is very similar in scope, some level of familiarity is what I typically assume." Hey Krissa, who has 30,000 views and an 8.7% female audience, says that she does not cater to that audience, and swears a lot, which might push the younger girls away. Emma X Games also weighs in and says, "People throw around a 50-50 split in gamers, and although that is true overall, it's definitely not true with the games I cover." C-Top, with 20,000 views and an 8.6% female viewership, says, "Well, the majority of gamers are male. I've seen stats saying it's split halfway, but those surveys include mobile gaming." I will be saving my observations and opinions towards the end of the video, but first I want to cover how Google, and by extension YouTube, figures out your gender. I found the answer in the Google demographics page. The link to this page is in the description. The page says that it uses browsing data to assume what your gender and other demographic data is. The example given is such. Sarah's favorite hobby is gardening. Many of the gardening sites and blogs on the display network that she visits have a majority of female readers. Based on this, Saras Browser could be added to the female demographic category. There are some flaws in this system in that a majority's interest in a subject causes anyone else to be interested in that subject to be assumed part of the majority. It then perpetuates its own assumptions. To see if it was accurate for me, I checked my ads page. It was mostly correct and it showed the things I seemed to be most interested in. However, I was told by many people that this page had gotten their gender wrong. I thought this was important information to put into context with the rest of this video. You can come to your own conclusions, but personally I think this could explain the extreme numbers that some YouTubers get. In my personal experience, I often get messages from other women or girls saying they are glad they found a channel with 2 funny women, or that they are glad they have found a channel that takes into consideration the feelings of others without sacrificing humor. The Geek Remix channel has around a 35% viewership. I would also like to note that the Geek Remix channel covers mostly games with female protagonists or ones with female characters that are relatable. This is not really a conscious decision, it is just the type of games we gravitate to. From this information and my personal experience, I think there are 3 factors that contribute to female audience percentage in gaming YouTube channels. I am not an expert, this is me just making shit up. If you don't agree with this, that is completely 100% valid and you have every right to not agree. 1. The games covered. Some people like to feel represented in the games they like, whether it be in characters or just the type of game they like to play. 2. The amount of conscious effort put into being inclusive or not being exclusive. It is every person's right to choose if they want to be inclusive or exclusive if they want. No one should be forced to change their personal channel to pander to anyone. That would compromise their integrity. 3. If you are similar to the viewer. I won't say similar in gender, but more similar in who you are. This could be correlated to gender, but I don't think it's 1 for 1. Some people of the same gender have similar interests, but not all. Overall, I think lots of women are interested in gaming content, just a particular type of gaming content. However, not all women are the same, and many women have varying interests within the gaming spectrum.